multi-million-dollar machine running 12 kilometers offshore.
I think I see a shark!
Where big waves, strong currents, and non-stop repairs are just another part of the job.
Look at the fish down here.
It's a hell of a job right now. The waves just pounding.
Not to mention the never-ending challenge of tropical weather.
It's not good. It's time for me to get my feet wet on impossible repairs.
My name is Mike Davidson.
Coming around.
So great. I've worked aboard and inside some of the most incredible machines on Earth.
This thing is pretty badass.
Here we go. Now I'm going back in. It is tight in here. I just love it. Digging into the guts and bolts of these machines. To discover how the hard hat heroes keep things running.
Power's on.
Nice and easy.
Make it all happen. You've got a problem here. This is Impossible Repairs. I'm going deep into the jungles of Panama to see one of the biggest offshore fish farms on the planet. It's a 3-hour flight from Miami and 135 kilometers from Panama City to the tropical village of Palenque, Colón, Panama. We've traveled through the rainforests of Panama to the Caribbean Sea, and a company called Open Blue is growing millions of dollars worth of cobia whitefish in 1,000 hectares of deep ocean, 12 kilometers offshore. A lot of moving parts make up this fish farming machine. Dozens of onshore tanks, kilometers of offshore pens, and some seriously tough boats. If any part breaks down, millions of dollars of fish are at stake. I'm gonna be in the water a lot. There's sharks. This one's gonna be interesting. It's gonna push me to my limits. For this multi-million-dollar operation, security is no joke.
Hombre.
Michael Davidson. Their stock is too valuable to risk with disease, so everyone entering must be screened.
All right, we're good.
Behind all this security lies Open Blue's center of operations. A whitefish with a friendly flavor, cobia commands as much as $40 per kilogram from restaurants across the globe. These guys sell 2 million kilograms per year, which translates to tens of millions of dollars.
It's the largest offshore fish farm in the world. I mean, nobody's doing it like we're doing it right now.
Some scientists believe that with current practices, the oceans could be depleted of wild fish by 2048. So Open Blue is pioneering a new way of doing things with their sustainable fish farms.
Growing 500,000 fish in pristine Caribbean water.
Even with all these new fish entering the ocean, a University of Miami study has shown that the environmental impact is minimal.
It's incredible.
While other aquatic farms raise fish in onshore tanks or nearshore floating pens, Open Blue's cobia spend most of their lives in totally exposed offshore locations, which allows for large schools of fish that are bigger and healthier. But it's also extremely difficult to maintain.
This is offshore environment, very harsh. It's the Caribbean, but it gets really tough. 12 kilometers out, we get the strong currents, we get the big waves, we get the big winds every single day. Very rough.
Weather this rough makes it even more important that every part of this machine functions perfectly, especially when deadlines are tight. In 3 days, Open Blue are transporting a school of cobia worth $300,000 in future sales. From the land hatchery in the town of Viento Frio, onto the boats at Miramar docks, and then 12 kilometers out to Open Blue's offshore farm site. Once all the fish out there reach full maturity, they'll be worth millions.
1 day old babies.
It's a delicate and exactly timed operation.
So that's the thing about this fish. It grows incredibly fast, and you have to act, fast as well.
In just 3 months, cobia transformed from microscopic eggs to 250-gram fish that are ready for the open water. They love to eat. So much that if Jorge lets any grow too big in the tanks, they'll start eating the smaller ones.
Cobia is a very interesting fish because they're cannibalized.
Oh yeah.
Everybody freaks out.
So you have to feed them often and well.
The cobia is like a stallion. It grows extremely fast. I mean, 1 year, 4 kilos. There's very few fish in the world that grow at that level. It has high demand for top quality ingredients. So this is high energy pellet.
I'm getting kind of hungry.
Have
you tried one? Have you ever tried one?
Of course. I mean, it's like pasty.
It's pasty, oily.
Yeah, fishy.
Fishy, yeah, fishy.
That's it, man. Ready for harvest.
It's not bad.
We'll see. I don't have to eat the whole thing. It's a big size pellet, man.
It's a big pellet.
Yeah.
I'm done for dinner now. I'm full. I don't need any more.
The fish are a lot harder to feed than me, especially in open water and unpredictable weather. That's why Open Blue have the toughest boats, customized for the job. At the heart of the operation are Open Blue's fleet of ex-military vessels, reconditioned and reimagined for an entirely different kind of battle against the elements. The Supercargo and the Cruz Azul were once used by the U.S. military to keep their waters safe. But when they were retired from service, Open Blue snatched up these former landing craft and put them to work.
Our boats are very tough, built for this stuff, and well, those are the ones taking us out there on a daily basis.
More than 60 years old, made of steel and weighing in around 135 tons, these boats can handle whatever the Caribbean throws at them.
Anyone that comes to Open Blue will probably say, you know, you guys are out of your mind the way you do this work. It could be dangerous if you don't follow the protocols.
And the sea is an unpredictable place.
Libre, clear.
While the boats head out to sea, we're heading up in the chopper to get a better look at the entire operation.
All right, let's check out these sea stations. Yes, sir. Right.
A sea station is a submerged, netted enclosure, 3 times bigger than a standard fish pen, and the water flows right through it, surrounding the fish with about 14.5 million liters of seawater, the equivalent of 6 Olympic-sized swimming pools. This means the fish never see the same water twice. Every station is anchored to the seafloor and attached to a mooring grid. When it's feeding time, each pen is connected to the boats above via tubes and cables. These monsters gobble up 10 tons of food per day from 2 feeder boats.
We have 10,000 fish that are going to be going out to the sea station. This translates into $300,000 in sales.
Huge scale, big numbers. What about across those 22 sea stations?
Yeah, that's over 500,000 fish that will translate into $30 million in revenue.
Transferring those fish, getting the 3-month-olds out to the sea stations, that's one of the most critical parts of the operation.
Yeah, I mean, that's the end of the job, and it's a 3-month hard-working effort.
We're right over top of the fish bar. Look at that, you can see the fish right in there to the sea station.
Below us, the Open Blue crew are feeding the fish. Right now, though, there's trouble on one of the boats.
Okay, dale, estamos ahí, estamos atentos.
¡Que le avise! ¡Ya! ¡Ey! ¡Vamos a pasar a toda!
Jorge tells me he just got an emergency call. A key part of this fish farming machine needs help. A feeder boat's engine died, so we need to bring it back in. A storm is approaching, so there's no time to spare.
We're just pitching up and down, hammering into these swells. It's gonna be a hell of a job to get up here.
Right now, 6 crew members are stranded in rough waters, without an engine to get them back to shore.
We're coming up to the boat that's in distress right now. The engine quit on it. They've been able to pull it in this far. Now we're here to bring it into shore.
Marine Operations Supervisor Miguel Mendoza is managing the rescue mission.
En esta operación lo que vamos a hacer es, un barco se nos quedó averiado, esta embarcación en la que vamos ahora mismo una con otra.
It's a hell of a job right now. The waves just pounding. 3 to 4 meters, wind blowing.
We're really gonna have to watch it. Be very cautious approaching to tie up next to this boat so we can bring it in.
One look at the sky, and it's clear we need to get going.
What's the first thing you have to do here, Freddie?
We're throwing the ropes on the other boat. We'll tie up the boat, we secure the boat, and then we go from there.
If they don't tie off the other boat, it could be pushed out to sea.
Okay, here we go, he's going. We're approaching the feeding boat. They're gonna throw the ropes over, try and bring us up to the boat. This is one of the most critical parts right here.
Herrera, necesito a alguien en la popa para que agarre la soga. Cuidado, cuidado, cuidado.
They're tying up the boat right now. They got the line over. There's a real risk here that a swell could come in and just throw us up against the boat.
The fish farm needs 2 working feeder boats to function. Without this one, the entire operation is at risk.
Cuidado, todo el mundo.
We're really getting tossed around.
Recógele, recógele. Michael, échale un poquito para atrás, no, para cobrar en el centro.
Miguel and his team fight to secure the feeder boat to our boat so they can complete the rescue.
Está quedando muy fuera, muy afuera. Cóbrale ahí, cóbrale ahí.
They're still fighting with the line. We're just pitching here. They're trying to tie it up. Whoa. It's rough today. It's why they had to get out here immediately to help the feeding boat. You can't have it with no engine pitching in this stuff.
But finally, the boats are connected. Now the real challenge begins. Guiding the two boats that span 12 meters across through an 18-meter wide channel back to the pier.
Okay, we're spinning around to head back in, but we still have to get through that narrow channel with one engine.
It is difficult in this channel because it's very narrow. So it will not be over until the boat is safe on deck.
Puedes tirar a babor todo lo que queda.
The channel is barely big enough for a double-wide vessel. It's shallow and lined with rocks. Plus, there's only one engine to haul more than 100 tons of boat. Getting back to shore is a white-knuckle ride in slow motion.
I can see the pier. We're almost there.
It's a very dangerous maneuver that we have to do in here, and we have to make sure, all the guys remember, all the safety protocols we follow, so.
Absolutely.
This boat is already down an engine. Any more damage would be dire.
Dale atrás, dale atrás, dale atrás, dale atrás.
Like reversing a car with a trailer up a driveway with no brakes.
Ahí está bien, cuñado, ahí está bien. Dale adelante si quieres.
We're approaching the base of operations.
Dale, suéltale, bro, ahí.
Yeah, that's it. Here we go. At the pier.
They made it. The boats and the crew are safe.
I'm happy about getting it done.
They're gonna work on this boat immediately. They're gonna get at that engine so it can return to feeding operations as soon as possible.
Down in the belly of the boat,
See.
the mechanics are stripping down the engine to diagnose the problem. This 450 horsepower old-school diesel engine is built solid. With everything the Caribbean threw at this thing, it overheated.
One of the hoses blew up of the cooling system.
When the cooling hose blew, it overheated. It caused damage to the inside of the engine here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the main problem.
You can see it right there on those rings.
That means they've got to rip the engine apart.
They're gonna have to replace the cylinders, which is a lot of work. They'll spend many hours in here, and they're some kind of do like a semi-overhaul, get the engine back up.
And it's 35 degrees in here. A totally unexpected repair means they may not have the replacement parts.
Another problem for us is we do have our shop in here, and we have spare parts, but if anything that is missing, because it's so far away from the city, it takes a while for us to get all these parts.
But the fish can't wait days to eat. This crew is gonna have to kick it old school.
What does that mean for you and your team?
If we don't have a feeding boat, that means we have to feed by hand.
More than 500,000 cobia live up to 30 meters deep in the water. So resorting to manual labor to feed them 10 tons of food per day is not going to be easy.
That's a lot of work. It's very stressful for us.
But the bigger problem is that the feeder boat has to be fixed before Jorge's new fish, worth $300,000 in future sales, can come in. More fish at the sea stations means an even greater need for 2 working boats to feed them. And to make matters worse, back on the pier, the other feeder boat is also busted.
What's going on with this right here?
The operator today while he was feeding was noting that there was no signal coming from this doser and is going to need to be fixed and replaced.
The doser is an essential system on these feeder boats because, like its name implies, it gives the correct dose of food to the fish.
Let's take a quick look at this. I just want to see how the doser operates.
So basically you have these rotate, and within it are...
These rotate right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so the operator can control how fast the fish feed is being released into the system, depending on the fish behavior.
Gotcha.
The doser pulls in feed from 2 onboard silos that carry up to 25 tons. This feed is pushed into a chamber using pressurized air, where it mixes with seawater pumped in from outside. The doser then shoots the water and feed mixture out into the sea stations at a maximum rate of 115 kilograms per minute.
Creo que es flojo este.
already down one feeder boat. These guys need to make a change quickly.
The guys are trying to disconnect this. We're taking this entire piece out.
Ayúdame a quitar este puto tornillo.
These feeder boats are equipped with up to 450 horsepower engines, about the size you'd find in a classic muscle car, like a Corvette Stingray or a Shelby Cobra. That size of engine leaves little space for anything else.
And once they get this off, we should help them so that we can.
Yeah, we'll
Pull the
grab it
sheet
and
out.
pull it out, right?
Now that the broken doser has been removed, we're installing its replacement. Open Blue doesn't make the dosers themselves, so it's lucky they had a spare on hand.
This is the difficult part right here. It's the new doser. We've moved it over. It's a really tight space, and it has to get up and over the funnel.
This old boat only has about a meter of space to work in. It's a very snug fit for the doser and for us.
It's not lining up properly. It's just such a tight fit. Is that lining up?
Yeah, so.
Once we line up this 50-kilogram part, it'll take some quick fingers to secure it in place. I'll take assembling a new piece of furniture over this any day.
This one last bolt right here. We can line this up. It takes. It's done.
I've never wanted a bolt to go in so badly in my entire life.
Is that it?
Necesitamos este en el segundo, porque esto es demasiado en esta dirección. Vale. Okay. Lined up.
It's just
so now
tightening
it's
at
just
this
tighten it
point.
down, and then we can get the motor down in here.
Now that it's lined up, motor's right there. We're looking good. These guys can wrap this up.
They'll be able to use this doser. They'll be good to go. Good to feed.
Good work, guys. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, let's get out of here.
Vamos a salir todos en fila, vamos a ir todo el grupito. Nuestro barco este es el último barco en salir.
With the new doser in place, this feed boat is ready to go back out.
Él necesita.
Un equipo, ya me dijo.
Sí, de aire.
This time, I'm joining the underwater crew to see how they make sure the fish are fed properly.
Yeah, it's fine.
This is where things get risky.
Alvaro, what sort of scuba environment am I looking at going out there to the sea stations?
It's very dangerous. It's very demanding. It's no shore dive, it's ocean dive. It's very different. In shore dive, you have a many reference, a beautiful reef. In the farm, no reef, no bottom, all is blue.
It's an extremely tiring job because while you're swimming against a current, you're also performing physically demanding manual labor. And to top it all off, you have to be on a constant lookout for predators.
Probably sharks swim around.
Sharks.
I love the sharks.
Sometimes you see, though, a very big shark and he checks you out. You
More
might
curious.
more curious still.
As long as they're not curious about what I taste like, then I'll be fine.
But still, it's good to get out of that area with many sharks.
It's very important also with the rookie divers.
There are a lot of hazards out there.
I've been diving in lakes and along coral reefs, but not in the open ocean. This is going to be a whole new experience for me.
We're heading out for my first dive, and we're getting tossed around in this fast boat. We're heading out to the sea stations. These guys are proving to the world that you can farm fish where they belong, out in the wild. Whoa, we're just getting slammed. The conditions today to get out there.
It's very hard. It's very important. Enter very quickly and swim fast or go down.
Let me check your full face mask.
We're good. Good.
I came equipped with a mask that lets me talk underwater.
This is awesome!
I'm glad I did, because it's crazy down here.
I think I see a shark.
I've been swimming with sharks before, but not when they're excited about finding dinner.
There's definitely always sharks around. We get tigers, bull sharks.
Look at the size of the sea station. It's amazing. Wow, I'm inside the net right now. This is it. Unbelievable.
20,000 cobia swarm around me, all hungry for dinner.
I've never seen anything like this before. Feeding looks good. The doser must be working because the pellets are pumping into the pen and the cobia are going crazy for it. But I've got to remember to stay calm in the chaos. There are fish everywhere, and there's no quick way out if something goes wrong.
Success! The doser is working great. And I didn't become shark food.
That was one hell of an adventure.
That was great down there. Looks really good.
Yeah, it was good, man. It's a good day. It's calm weather. The team is working very efficiently and fast, so I'm very happy with the job.
With the feeding done, we're going back to shore and calling it a day. With millions of fish to feed and 10,000 more about to join them, being down one feeder boat isn't sustainable. That's why the crew's been working all night to fix the other feeder engine. The mechanics had to replace the cooling system hoses and rebuild the engine.
I'm sure it is working. Our guys have worked really hard on getting it ready. Hopefully it's all okay. Let's cross our fingers.
Now it's time to find out if all that hard work is gonna pay off.
We're gonna start this engine up.
Máquina, Nelby!
This big green monster looks rough on the outside.
Oh, wait a second. Oh no!
But underneath, the engine is roaring with power.
It's coming, it's going, we're out of here, up we go.
This engine is up and running again, so they're back to full capacity. Just in time. The young cobia are outgrowing their onshore pens. They need to get them into the sea stations right away. While crews get the second feeder boat ready, I'm back on dive duty. But this time, Freddie's putting me to work.
We have to get going. Time's running. All our guys are ready.
Let's get out of here.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
We're heading out to clean the sea stations. Why are you cleaning this one right now?
All of this cleaning and all these repairs, it's all done to have the pen ready for the new fish.
Clean pens mean healthy fish.
This is the boat that has all the equipment for the cleaning, for the high pressure power hoses. They're getting the sea station ready for the new fish that are coming out.
Over time, algae in the water clogs up the sides of the sea stations.
We're gonna meet up with the divers there at the bottom of the sea station, power washing 6,000 PSI to that mesh, get that algae off.
It's time for me to get to work.
Look at that algae fly. Just like stripping paint off a deck, the pressure washer sprays water that peels the unwanted gunk away.
It's very important. It maintains healthy environment for the fish, good oxygen levels, reduces more parasites in there or bacteria buildup, things of that nature. And then it also reduces drag on the system as a whole.
With a current stronger than an Olympian can swim, it takes a huge amount of physical exertion just to stop yourself from getting swept away. So even though my job is done, with the water getting choppy, the hard work is just beginning. After an hour of cleaning the sea station, my scuba tank is running low, and I'm exhausted. We're finishing a dive, and I'm getting pummeled. The ocean current is tossing me around like a rag doll. Add to this the tough job I just finished, and I'm losing steam.
Oh man, that was all I had though to get back on. I don't feel so great right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta get this stuff off.
Imagine the diver team made 6 dives per day.
6 dives per day. That gives me a new appreciation for what these guys do.
That's one of the toughest things I've done.
My body really took a beating in the water.
Okay.
I'm not feeling good.
burns in this region are some of the strongest in the world. And today, they turn my stomach upside down.
I thought I was gonna be able to keep it together. I was fighting at the end to not throw up.
If it makes you feel better, some of our most hardened Marine Ops guys have thrown up multiple times.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. It's time to get back to shore.
But thankfully, my next mission is on solid ground. I'm doing a dirty job, cleaning the filters for the hatchery and nursery. But to do this, pipes that bring in the fresh seawater must be shut down.
Time to clean some filters.
The hatchery and nursery span 1.5 hectares. These can house up to 2 million fish until they're big enough for the open ocean.
This is the point right here where the seawater flows in to these primary filters. It brings it into the hatchery and the nursery.
Cleaning the filters every week ensures fresh, healthy seawater flows into the pens of Open Blue's youngest and most vulnerable fish.
You can see the buildup on the walls a little bit.
And it's a big-time job. The lives of $8 million worth of fish are at stake.
Oh man, it's hot in this suit. Give me some water.
It's 32 degrees today.
All right, whew. Back to work. Okay, this is looking good. We scrubbed off a lot of stuff, a lot of organisms. We're good. We can start it up?
Now that the filters are clean,
The water's coming up already.
2,000 meters of pipe that was closed for cleaning is back open, and the water's moving through.
See, it's filling up here.
The filters are clean and letting fresh seawater into the hatchery and nursery. More than 24.5 million liters per day.
This one's looking good. All right.
With onshore and offshore cleaning complete, it's time to wrap things up.
Prepare su barco, monten su vaina, que quede todo listo.
What's the mission today?
We're gonna install the nursery net that goes inside that is gonna hold the juveniles for a couple of months.
The new netting goes inside the sea stations to protect the young fish from predators, including larger cobia. Without it, tomorrow's transfer can't happen.
So it's 4 divers, they're gonna deploy the nursery net.
There are a lot of moving parts with 4 divers in the water.
Yeah.
Very difficult if the winds pick up, the swells increase.
Right.
To manage all of that. Yeah.
But we're ready to do it no matter what, because we have to. The main thing is to keep an eye on the current. If there's a very strong current, they might have to call it off.
The forecast is calling for strong winds, which can cause big waves that could tangle up our nets, making them impossible to install. For this job, the whole fleet is on the move.
Dime, Miguel.
Whoa! Now that we're out here, though, it's worse than predicted. Luckily, I'm in one of Open Blue's newer boats.
There's a storm rolling in. Just in the last 30 minutes heading out towards the farm, the wind has really picked up. The swells have increased here to 4 or 5 meters.
Ellos son los capitanes, ellos saben lo que están haciendo, así que si hay que regresarse a base, nos regresamos a base.
Freddie, what's going on?
Captains, the weather conditions is very rough, very tough for everyone, so they're heading back to the base. Definitely, this is too dangerous for all of us to be out there at the farm.
Canceling the net installation is a big blow to the operation. But waves like this wreck boats and put divers in danger.
What does it mean for the fish? What does it mean for you guys?
It's going to be tougher for us because we're going to have more work to do, get what we have on schedule done, and we have to include this one. And this is a very important task that we have to do today.
The fish on shore are literally getting bigger by the second. If they don't transfer them by tomorrow, they could start eating each other and Open Blue's profits.
There's no way we can do it.
There's no way we could do this. It's too dangerous for us.
We're turning around. We're shutting down operations.
The crew have no choice but to pack it in and head back to the pier. Later that afternoon, the ocean calms down.
This is great news for us.
Because it gives the crew the opportunity to get back to the sea stations.
We need to put this net in place, and then we have a 4-diver crew that is gonna be like forcing the net into the sea station, and that's why it's important to do it when the weather's calm.
We're heading out to install the nursery net. We must get this done today. Without this in place at the sea station, we can't do the transfer for the 3-month-old fish.
10,000 fish can't wait. And another batch of even younger cobia is waiting for their tanks. This multi-million-dollar fish farming machine depends on its transfers going ahead.
Yeah, it's critical. I mean, we have a full nursery, so for me to get those fish out, it opens up the space for the next group that is coming in. Otherwise, we run out of space there.
It's a relentless cycle.
And if we can't do this, if there's too much current, we'll just pull this net, we'll drag it out. It'll be way too tough for the guys to wrestle with this thing and get it inside the sea station, inside that zipper.
While things are calm on the surface, when the guys go deeper, a strong current is lurking.
There's current at different layers.
10 meters down is where everything changes.
It's about a knot, which will create some problems with the net.
The crew needs to block the current, so they try to form a barrier with the sea stations.
So right now they're raising the sea station we're going to be working on to allow them to put the nursery net in, and then we're going to move on to the next sea station to raise it as well to help us block the current.
Each sea station has a spar, a strong hollow steel pole with 3 chambers inside. A compressor on the ship pumps air into the chambers, making the spar more buoyant, which can raise the sea station as much as 14 meters. To lower it, the air is purged out. The compressor is pumping, but nothing's happening.
There's a problem with the sea station. We can't get the spar to come up. They put air pressure through it. There's a leak in the line, so we're trying to fix it right now.
If they can't raise the sea station to block the current, it won't be safe enough to install the net.
They're gonna cut the line, reattach the hose, put the air pressure back in, see if that works.
Sometimes a quick fix calls for a low-tech solution. They cut off the hose and reattach it with vinyl insulating tape. It worked. The air pressure is flowing. Now they can raise the sea station and get on with the job.
We can do this. Okay, good dive. All right. The nursery net's going in. Where'd it go? That's amazing. You just cut the line. The net's just falling down there. You can see the current pulling it, spreading it out. It's just a huge surface area.
Now the hard work begins. The divers wrestle the net into the sea station through a zippered opening. My turn. Now that they have it in, I'll help them. Inside, they have to attach the net to the sea station with guide ropes. Then unfurl it and tie it tight. If you can imagine assembling a 3,000 cubic meter tent underwater, you'll know how hard this is to do.
That's great. Yeah.
Now that the net is in place, the sea station is ready for the big day tomorrow.
It looks like an awesome house for the fish, so I'm happy that we're going to be able to transfer those fish in schedule.
But what are we looking at coming up here?
I mean, things can change in an instant. We'll see tomorrow, but we'll be ready.
Yeah, nice work.
Jorge starts his day by checking the weather.
Okay, está bien, listo, gracias.
It's a yellow flag day, which means the wind and waves can pick up any time. But the fish won't wait. To stay healthy and delicious, they need to get out to sea and stretch their fins.
The fish from over here in these large tanks, we're gonna suck them out through this up to the sorting machine.
Correct. They're gonna go up the tower, they're gonna be in a table where we're gonna be sorting them out, and then we're gonna count them individually going into the truck so we know exactly what we're transferring onto the sea.
The crew has just under 5 hours to get the fish through the sorting station at Viento Frio, loaded into tanks, and driven to the pier at Miramar. Then transferred onto the boat and released into the sea station.
From the minute we start, we're dealing with live fish. They're delicate, they need certain water conditions to be steady and stable. They need oxygen to keep alive and water flowing.
The longer we take, the greater chance there is for a problem with the fish.
Yes, exactly. There is a time limit.
Open Blue packed the fish to last outside of flowing water for 2 hours. So we've got to move.
Get suited up, get in the tank. Here we go. We're going in. Here we go.
Wow, look at this. Look at the fish down here, all over me. What's gonna happen here?
He's gonna get the fish onto the baskets so that they can be sucked out of the tank.
The water buffers them right at the pipe. And off to the sorting station.
We're looking for any kind of deformity. We're just making sure that only the prime fish go out into the cages today.
Only the healthiest, strongest fish will survive life out in the open ocean.
Oh, look at this one. Yeah. That's a big one.
Thunder, man.
Just when things are running smoothly, Mother Nature steps in to show everyone who's really in charge in the tropics.
We're worried about weather conditions.
So what are we hearing right now? Thunder. We've got a yellow warning, which means the weather is turning, the winds are picking up, storm's moving in. So there's 2 meter swells out there at the farm right now.
That kind of weather makes an already difficult job even harder.
It's at this critical stage where it's moving. Like these fish have to go out there. It means though there's gonna be a roller coaster out there on the boats.
Yeah, but at some stage, you gotta take the plants and you gotta go.
Once the transfer begins, it can't be stopped. The stress of putting the fish back in the tanks could be deadly.
Weather's coming in.
Transferred, now to the trucks.
Ready to go.
With just 2 hours left before fish worth 300 grand in future sales must be in the ocean, this storm couldn't come at a worse time.
It's not looking good. Thunder, lightning, these dark clouds are coming in fast, so we gotta move. Let's check on the trucks.
The storm? Yeah, it's coming in. Oh, there it is. It's not good.
We're in the middle of some major weather. A dark cluster of storm clouds is covering the border of Panama and Colombia, right above us.
Right at a point when the tanks are filled up, we just got hit hard.
Just as the crew attempts to get the fish, worth $300,000 in future sales, out of their tanks and into the ocean.
The front of the storm here, hopefully it passes, gives us enough time where we can get the ships loaded with these tanks. But if we're hit with this, and we're out on the water, it's gonna be trouble.
That's because the cobia can't wait, and the stress of sending them back to the hatchery could kill. The storm is worse than expected, and while the rain has died down for the moment, according to the forecast, it's coming back.
So it's gonna be a rough go out on the farm for this transfer.
I think so. Bueno, ya estamos acabando. So in my estimation, we were gonna be rolling out at 11, so we're running late.
It's go time. Open Blue only packed the cobia to survive out of flowing water for 2 hours. So every moment is critical.
They're gonna check the conditions of the tanks before they depart, and then they're going onto the boat. In the next 30 minutes, they'll be in the boat.
All right, so we'll go and check each tank.
Check every box, make sure the oxygen levels are okay. Está aquí, está aquí.
The right amount of oxygen is a matter of life and death for the cobia. That's why they're traveling with compressed oxygen cylinders that release this gas into the water.
Okay, what level do you want right here?
I mean, that's 23, that's more than enough. So we're above 200%, so everything looks good as far as oxygen goes.
The oxygen level is perfect. We're good to go.
Fully loaded tanks, full of our 3-month-old cobia, off to the boats. The second wave of that storm's coming in.
With $300,000 on the line, they have to get this delivery right, even if the storm is making it hard to do.
Mueve, mueve, no te pares, que te voy a romper el trasero.
Backing the truck up onto the dock. Start transferring the fish across to the ships. Dark clouds all around us. Cleared up right here at the marina.
The weather is holding out for now, so the crew has to move while they can.
The transfer begins.
They'll hook up the hoses and just let the gravity take the fish onto the holding tank in the boat.
You guys have done this many times, but there are a lot of moving parts here.
Always.
A lot of things that need to be 100% correct.
Exactly. Well, we have oxygen depletion here. What's going to happen is fish are going to die.
Yeah. Well, humans take only 14 breaths per minute. Fish take 100. So the oxygen in these transfer pens can dwindle quickly.
This whole thing is a ticking clock.
Yes, it is. You know, it's a race against time. We just have to make sure, you know, we do it the proper way as they get out there.
The crew has just over an hour to get these fish into the ocean on a trip that can take longer than that. So we have to go.
We're ready to go. We're heading out to the farm. Ready?
The top speed of this boat is around 9 knots, or 16 kilometers per hour. But we're cruising at about 13 kilometers per hour, and with good reason.
We can't go too much faster than this. That'll stress the fish out.
Right. If you go much harder than this, then you'll start slapping too hard, and the water in the tanks will move, and the fish will get stressed.
Almost there.
Yeah, another 20 minutes.
Every part of this operation is a ticking clock.
Yeah, definitely when you're working with live fish, if you deprive them of oxygen, they will be sluggish, and then they'll have a hard time fighting current.
And that could lead to death. So they have to be good to go as soon as they arrive at the sea stations.
Yeah, others at the farm. Get in the gear ready, get the fish in the water.
We're coming up on the sea station for transfer. We're gonna get the boat secured, dive down there, start the transfer.
They need all hands on deck. So despite the rough waters, I'm going back to the net to help with the transfer.
Okay, there's a lot of current down there.
You're swimming fast.
Let's swim fast now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get geared up.
Guys ready, fish are ready.
It really doesn't stop. Once you start moving out with the tanks, go. All the way in, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
The fish have been in the tanks for 1 hour and 58 minutes.
Are we gonna make it in time?
They're about to start the transfer.
So right now, divers secured a line to a transfer hose that we have in there. We connected it over on the side of the boat and then started the transfer.
The pipe is open, but will the cobia adapt to the ocean?
Fish, just like humans, they get stressed. You want to reduce stress as much as possible.
The fish are making their way down into the sea station.
We hope those fish are gonna be okay.
And they're here. Welcome to the party.
Now the divers are just ensuring that the fish are arriving safely and also giving them a little bit of feed because they just went through a pretty stressful process.
They're in a pen 6 times larger than their onshore tanks and are looking good.
There'll be about 40,000 total fish inside this pen by the time we're done.
Just an incredible and unbelievable experience. Such a privilege being down here.
5 hours and the transfer is done. Mission complete.
Perfect transfer. All fish in. Great. Good feeding. Great behavior. Good to go.
Who's out of this world? I haven't seen anything quite like that.
The beauty of our job. You know, that's what we do it for.
I'll never forget that. That was a hell of an experience. Fish are in the nets. Mission accomplished.
I feel like a weight on my shoulders, confident that, you know, they're in the right path.
Well, pleasure to see you guys work.
Thank you for coming along and joining the team.
Mission completed. Life on the open ocean out here is tough. You can go anywhere around the world, any other part of the ocean on the planet. There isn't anything quite like this, and it takes a special breed to work out here to make this a reality.